Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an Excalibur. It's a tier 6 British premium tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Redshire Encounter, and this one under the command of OrcaSpiderJay. Now there is more than one gun, I believe. No, there's only one gun. It's a 76mm. Capable of doing 150 alpha with the standard rounds. With the premium, it'll go through 192mm. Sorry, it goes through 165mm with standard. And with the HESH rounds, yes, high explosive squash head, it will go through 70mm, but it'll do a lot more damage, 190 hit points with the HE. Now it's quite an unusual design. It never got built, but it was designed as a support vehicle for the airborne troops. Turret at the front, engine at the rear, kind of boxy, a bit difficult to hide in many ways. Doesn't have much in the way of armour, 50mm at the front on both the turret and the hull, but it does have a fairly good rate of fire, 4.31 seconds on the reload normally, and you can see OrcaSpiderJay's got it down to 3.65 seconds, and he's gone up to the bush, which is the normal one. Oh, see trees going down in the distance, so we know somebody's there. He's gone up to the TD bush, which can get targeted by Arty, but there's no Arty in this game, so I don't think he has to worry. Okay, M8A1 spotted. Okay, first one he gets a hit for 170, which is a high roll. Misses with the second shot. Panzer 3J down there. Oh, no. Tried to auto aim, the shell went sky high. Gets that one in. And the enemy tank disappears behind cover. Now, it hasn't got a very high top speed, actually, this vehicle. Only 50 kilometers an hour, which isn't that great, but then, after all, it was an airborne vehicle. It was designed really to be lightweight, to be dropped in on the enemy, and for them to then use to counter enemy tanks that were coming up against the airborne troops.
Stop your advance.
He's trying to tell those guys, let the tanks come through, and then I'll hit them when they do. One of the things this tank destroyer does have over other vehicles, though, is a fantastic hit pool health. It has 840 hit points at tier 6, which is quite high. In fact, it's very high. KV1 on the ridgeline. He's easily going to pen that one. Easily goes through the sides of that vehicle. Doesn't have that much in armour on the... Well, he does have a lot of armour for a tier 5, but he just can't stand a tier 6 tank destroyer with very good pen on just standard shells. It's another reason why this vehicle...
Withdraw from that position.
You should try and use standard ammo throughout to maximise your credits. As I said, it's the second vehicle that you get on the second set of campaigns, the first vehicle on the second set of campaigns, and he's easily penetrating that KV2. Went for the rear of it there, timed the shot perfectly to hit the rear of the vehicle, but no, couldn't get the easy 8. The KV2's gone. Now he is behind the bush, but he is not using the bush mechanics, so there's a possibility the closer they get, they're going to spot him. He's using other people's spotting to help him here. The KV1 he hit earlier is up at the Zeppelin now, but he's trying to say to these guys, pull back and let me hit these guys when they come up over the ridgeline or when they push through in the Zeppelin. There goes the KV1. The unfortunate thing at the moment is we're 2 tanks down on the enemy. They've got somebody in the cap, and now we're 3 tanks down on the enemy, and they've got the position really. They're squeezing us in to the northwest corner of the map. Well, northwest area of the map, I say. It's not the corner. We're not there yet. Not that bad. We've got somebody in the cap as well now to block them. Ah, now you can get a shot in the Easy 8 and kill it here. Yep, nice shot. That's his first kill. He's doing what the traditional tank destroyer should do at this stage of the battle, is stand back and let his other teammates do most of the damage, whilst he sits here and waits for signs that the enemy is vulnerable, and then he can move in and take advantage of it. His armour's not that great, as I said. It's only 50mm at the front, 25 at the sides on the hull. Super Chaffy saw him. Yeah, managed to get 2 rounds in, but he pulls back, and yeah, he's got hit by the M8A1, and he was hitting the ammo. So he's lost a bit of ammo, and he's had to fix his ammo rack straight away. So he's burned his repair kit. The Super Chaffy got in inside his view range, even though he's behind the bush. But he's unspotted now, but he can't get a shot on the Super Chaffy because he's behind a house. The Super Chaffy's killed, so he doesn't have to worry about that guy anymore.
I'm in your debt.
And he thanks the VK for killing him. That was rather awkward for a second. The M8A1, of course, has got that 57mm gun, or a 76mm, but the 57mm is actually quite effective. And so obviously he was easily going to take damage from that guy who's got super penetration, goes straight through the 50mm. Now he is in the open when he's taking these shots, and those guys are going to see him, and they might be able to get shots at him through those gaps. It'll be much more difficult for him to shoot them through the gap. But he did get the ANKYL. He proves me wrong straight away, and he takes him out. Yeah, it's always a worry if you're out in the open and the guy there is actually in a very, very narrow gap or firing through a very narrow slot. Sometimes you can be at the disadvantage, so it helps to be in the cover. Oh, Stug 4. Now that's a reward tank as well. And the first set of missions, and he takes that one. Well, he gets a hit, but he didn't get the kill on that one. Okay, AnKYL can easily take this guy out with one shot, and he does. Now he can get the M8A1 and get revenge, and he does. So that's 2 kills very, very quickly, and now there's a 14 TP, and he takes him out as well, but he bounced the round that came from the 14 TP. Was lucky about that. Just took 1 round from a Panzerselbstfeuerfette 1C. Not, I was about to say Fear, but it's not a Death Toaster. It is the 1C, the free one that they gave. Okay, so now they're hunting down the last 3 enemy tanks. Oh, God, that was close. Almost went off the bridge. And he suddenly realised, yeah, I can't get through that gap. There's an enemy tank wreck sitting in the gate. Yeah, he's not going to push that out the way. As I said, this is a very light tank. It hasn't got much in the way of weight. 30 tons is the weight of it. Oh, well, 27 tons. Fully loaded, it's 30 tons. So it's not a very heavy tank. It's not going to really push things about very easily. VK's gone down, and it was their box tank that did it. The box tank, that's the big problem. It's a tier 8 gun on a tier 6 tank destroyer. That big 13cm naval gun, which is capable of taking out, well, he'd have to take 2 shots to get out the Excalibur, but he probably could. OrcaSpiderJay I should say, is actually now positioning himself. And I think he might use that gate where there's an enemy wreck right in the way, because he could shoot at the box tank without the box tank being able to respond, because there'd be a wreck in the way. Yes, he spotted what I thought he would do. He's going to this gap, because look, that wreck provides perfect cover. The enemy tank sees him, all he has to do is pull behind the wreck, or pull behind the gate itself. The enemy is in the cap, but we've got our T6 medium the other side. He's decided he's not going to do that. There's an enemy tank, supposedly. Oh, it's a T28. I think that was earlier in the game, the T28. There's the box tank. He's coming up over the rise to get T28, and he T6, and he kills him with an ammo rack. And he's now looking in this direction. I'd use that Hesh round if I was you. He's firing APCR, but he has to pull back in. He took a round from the Panzerselbstfeuerfetter. ANKYL again. That same guy's hit him more than once. And the box tank is now capping. Now, the best thing he could do right now would be relocate, because the box tank is expecting him to come out through that gate again. And if he goes to the gate, he might be able to shoot through the gates, as I said, using the wreck as cover. The AT2 is going in to confront the box tank face to face. It's 2 versus 3 now. So it's turned the tables. We were 4 against 3. Now it's 2 versus 3. And it's all down to that box tank more than anything. There's the Panzerselbstfeuerfetter. There he is. Take him out. 2 shots. Oh, he's quick to pull back. I'm not so sure he can get a shot on the box tank at the moment, but the AT2 seems to be doing rather well. As long as he keeps his front to the box tank, he should be able to get shots in. And, well, there goes the death at the box tank. Which means now there's only 2 enemies left, a T-28 and that Panzerselbstfeuerfetter ANKYL. I suppose you have to just call him the ANKYL from now on. He's locked on. Oh, yes, gets his first shot in. Go for the kill shot. Somebody's going to get him. Hello. Goodbye. And that is a top gun. A top gun for OrcaSpiderJay. Now we've got to the T-28. It's the last enemy alive. He fires his first shot, misses. Angles for the shot, comes back. The guy's firing the 57mm because he's only got 85 bounced. It gets a pen on the next one. Gets that one in as well. He's got a higher rate of damage, or higher damage, but lower rate of fire. He angles very well there. Gets another shot in. Just go for it now. Run in, because you've got enough hit points. That's it. And that wins the game for OrcaSpiderJay. Guns up. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Here's the end of battle stats for OrcaSpiderJay and the Excalibur. He got an ace tanker in that game. Yes, he performed more than well enough to get an ace. In fact, he got a bruiser medal as well for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly. A duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. And a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points of his own vehicle. But best of all, he got 2 battle hero medals. Yes, he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game overall. And he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. And in fact, he actually ended up with 7. Because he got the 6th kill when he killed the Panzerselbstfeuerfetter ANKYL. And then finished it off with a 7th kill on that T-28. So pity there wasn't another enemy for him to kill. If he killed the box tank as well, he would have ended up with a Radley's. So let's have a look at the team score and see where he stands. Well, there you go, right at the top of the table with 3,598 hit points of damage. The next high scorer being the box tank with 1,720. And after that, it was the VK3001H who was so helpful to OrcaSpiderJay. He got 1,536. When it came to kills, again, it's OrcaSpiderJay with 7 kills. 4 kills went to the box tank, 3 kills went to the VK3001H, and the rest had 2 or 1. And when it came to base XP, he's got the top in all 3 columns. Yes, he's the only player to get over 1,000 base, 1,545. The next high scorer being the VK3001H with 906. And just look at the difference between the next player. The next player is the Type 64 with only 585. So you can see these 2 players were instrumental in winning for their team and doing the business. They killed 2/3 of the enemy team in that battle, and yes, they certainly earned their stripes in that one. Very well done. Let's have a look at the detail. 39 shots fired, 27 direct hits and 27 penetrations. It's a decent gun. It's just difficult to get the hits on target sometimes when you try. In this case, it was a few wild shots that didn't hit the target, but besides that, he did get good pen when he did fire on the target. 3,598 hit points of damage, of which 1,481 wrote more than 300 meters. He did the traditional role of a tank destroyer shooting at long range to start with, and then when the things started started getting a bit tense towards the end. He was getting much closer to the enemy before taking them out. 10 hits received, 7 penetrations, 3 non-penetrations. Well, I did mention this thing doesn't have much in the way of armor. 50mm at the front and 25 at the sides. It's negligible. Anything that hits it normally is going to go straight through. The only thing you can hope for is that some of these shells will hit the tracks, and 3 did get non-penetrations, but most of those non-pens were actually down to the fact that he was well angled and the shell hit the tank and bounced off, or hit the tank and just couldn't pen because it just couldn't get through. 135 hit points of damage blocked by armor. I think those were the shots from the T28 actually that bounced off, and he was just so well angled at that time. 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 12 enemy vehicles damaged and 7 killed, so only 3 enemy tanks he didn't touch in the entire game. 352 hit points of damage assistance, and he got 5 defense points by resetting the cap. On a free-to-play account, he earned 38,836 credits, got 14,758 from personal missions payout. I think that's actually holiday ops. And after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 13,562 credits profit. He received 1,545 base XP, 464 for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 2,009 experience points altogether. So the Excalibur, it's quite a good trainer in terms of you could train crews in it. There's no problem with that. It's just it's fairly weak on the armor, and so you have to play it like a traditional long-range sniper, not really as a brawler. If you try to play it as a brawler, you'll come off worse, unless of course you play it as well as OrcaSpiderJay did in this game, and managed to play it in the correct fashion at the right stage of the battle, and then you can get all of this damage. That's an awful lot of damage done. Very well played indeed to OrcaSpiderJay. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channels on both YouTube and on Rumble. And we're not on Rumble for political reasons. It's purely for protection of our videos. We don't want our videos to be taken down on either channel. And you can watch us on either channel, on YouTube or Rumble. And if you did enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below because it feeds the algorithm on both channels. And thank you for watching.